I mean, I came out to LA for the weekend, so I'm with my homies. I'm in the whip right now, so sorry for the surroundings right now.
It's all good, man. LA or New York?
Yeah.
Because I know you're from New York. So
Yeah, I'm from New York. I'm in LA for the weekend though.
are you an LA
So
guy
yeah.
though? More than New
No,
York being
no, I'm not. The city's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I came out to meet a couple people and to also catch up with some friends. So
That's
it's
always
cool,
good.
man.
But
Where you based out of?
I'm out of Connecticut, but I went to St. John's in New York and Queens. So
Oh, fire, fire,
yeah.
fire, fire. I got a lot of homies that went to St. John. That's fire.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not surprised
Yeah.
because New York, St. John's.
Yeah. But what's funny is most of the people I know that went to St. John's came from out of town. So it's actually not like the locals that I know that went to St. John's. All my homies from like Maryland and DC and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of Maryland and DC people that came to St. John's. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's tight, man. Thank you for making to hold on 1 second. Sorry about that.
oh, it's all
Got
good.
put on my seatbelt real quick. But yeah, man, thank you for taking time to do this, man. How long have you known Richard Dean?
I've known Richard Dean for about now. We're coming up close to a year, like in October. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
man.
one of
How
my
about
good.
you?
I've known her for about 7 years now, man. We met randomly, actually through Twitter, because when I first a couple months before I put out my first album, I put out a single and a video, and people were supporting it online, and one of my friends I just added her and Grunge Cake and was like, "Yo, y'all got to check this out." And she reposted on the website that day, and then like ever since then, she'll reach out, and then we just built like a real friendship. So yeah,
Build a relationship. She's getting you
yeah.
connections and helping you out. Yeah, she's a real one.
Listen, man, she was one of the realest, like for real, for real, for real, dog. So like, I'm happy to work with her right now, man. Very happy.
Absolutely, man. I want to get all into it because you were originally
Mhm.
starting out like at the age of 6 or 7, but you took piano lessons when you were younger. Then you quit them because you didn't feel like doing them anymore. There was just no passion in it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that setting. It was very structured. I was about 7 when I started on piano, and then, honestly, at like 8, 9, I ain't like it, man. I ain't like the teachers, and I just to my father's dismay, I quit. Yeah, but I grew up like I still kept it because I was in the church choir most of my life until college and stuff, man. So like I was always around it,
Mhm.
piano and music and stuff like that.
You actually didn't want to get into pop and R&B at first sight because you wanted to do more rock type of things.
Well, yeah, because I don't know, coming up, the reason I even started with music so late just because it wasn't interesting to me, like the industry side of it. So like when I did find an interest in it, it was on the more alternative rock side. So I kind of like I would make beats for R&B singers and for rappers and stuff, but like I didn't want to do that personally. But I was too early. I was too early on that wave, being a black dude trying to make rock music. It wasn't nobody was jacking it in 2011. Yeah, dude.
What would you say were some of your rock influences? Because I know you
Oh
were a
man.
big Dipset fan and you were into anime. So where did the rock influences come from?
So the rock influences, Radiohead, NERD, because Pharrell is my number one inspiration and all this shit. And Muse, you know the band Muse, the British band?
Yes.
Yeah, so Matt Bellamy is like one of those super weirdo, mega talented dudes, and like I just thought it was so wavy, man. Like their first like 3, 4 albums are like really, really, really awesome. So that's where the rock influence definitely comes in.
You
Those I would say those three for sure.
Basketball was something that was a part of your life early on, and you got a serious ankle injury in 2007 and you were on like crutches for 3 months.
That's how I got into music in the first place. In 2000, like I went to University of Maryland honestly because I thought I was good enough to walk on the basketball team. And in '07, I felt like I was like really, 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 really great. And I got hurt, man. Got hurt, man. And I thought I broke my goddamn ankle, like, to be honest with you. And I was on crutches for a month, started playing piano again. And I actually reached out to my dad and I was like, hey man, you always wanted me to play piano and get into the music stuff. And I was like, hey man, I want to do it. And I thought it was like a crazy ass thing to ask because I got a Phantom X6, the old rolling keyboard,
Mhm.
and that shit was like $2,000. And he just sent me the money. Like no, I thought it was like the craziest thing for me to ask, and he was like, "Well, I did always want you to do it." And he that day sent me the money to go buy the shit, and I was like, in awe. I was like, thanks. I did not expect you to do that at all. And that's how this whole shit started, man.
That's how it started. And
Yeah,
just hearing
yeah.
about your journey from there, because you actually took the risk in moving out to LA.
Yeah, man. I moved out here in 2010. And it was interesting at that time, man. I learned a lot, man. I got to work with artists who, their careers never like, they didn't blow up or nothing like that, but they were like actively working. And so you got to see, like, I got to learn the professional side of it. Like I was in the studio every day. I got to learn studio decorum and how to, how to maneuver
Making
in
tons
the,
of beats
yeah, making beats. But
just
it's
to
more so like,
survive too.
it's that the survival part, but it's honestly more of just the like how to exist cordially in those spaces. Because it's different, man. Like every artist is different. Some are temperamental, some are more mercurial. You know what I mean? Like, so
Exactly.
I got that crash course where it's like, learn how to be a producer. You know what I mean? Learn how to address the needs of the artist, because that's what you're here for. You're not here to be the star of the show, you know?
Mhm.
So that's really, LA really taught me that when I was out here in 2010.
When out in LA, you connected with a special person, Amber, and you even sung about her in your songs,
Hmm.
and she was
Hmm.
paying for your groceries to even make beats.
And Amber Melody, man,
Yeah.
she was like a megastar in my eyes at the time, man, and like she really held it down, dog. Like she really held it down, and every time I see her, like we drifted apart, so I haven't seen her since like 2017. But every time back then when I saw her, ultimate praise, ultimate thank you, like you know what I mean? Because she ain't had to do none of the stuff she was doing for me, man.
Is it true? I was reading online that you had some potential work back in the day with 50 Cent.
So through her, she was recording a song that I produced at Record Plant,
Mhm.
the big studio out here. And 50 Cent was next door, heard the beat, laid down 12 bars, and the song never came out. Like I thought it was gonna be some shit that was gonna change. It's 50 Cent in 2011, so he was still actively making music, you know? So I'm like, dog, I'm about to be on. And whatever happened with her and her management team, it just song never came out, man.
Have you had the chance to run into 50 Cent at all in
I've
recent
never
years?
I've never met 50. No.
Man, I'd love to still hear that track though.
Listen, I would love to play it for him because I'm 1000% he forgot that he ever did that shit. Yeah, man. But one day we'll see. One day I might run into dude. Yeah, I'm
New
a big
York's
fan
trying to
still.
kill me.
Hmm.
Is that the reason why you moved out to LA? Because you felt as though you weren't getting anywhere in New York and you had to find new opportunities?
No, it's the I'm from New York, was there my whole life. It's the reason I just left because I wanted to see other things. That's why I went to University of Maryland. And then that's why after graduation in 2009, ended up I moved back home to New York for a little bit. And then I was like back and forth between New York and Maryland. My buddies in Maryland was like, yo, let's go to LA. And I was like, yep. I just went to see stuff, man. I was really 18 straight years in New York. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I get what's going on here. Like,
What
yeah,
were some of the
In
tribulations that you say
500
you'd
feet,
faced
turn
throughout your
right
time
onto
out in
West
LA when you were
Beacon
going out there to
Boulevard.
pursue music and you were making beats?
man. Honestly, the number one hurdle
Now turn right onto
was
West
kind of
Beacon
like
Boulevard.
understanding the work, like being honest with myself, like understanding the actual talent level it takes to
In
even
500 feet,
almost
your
make it. You
destination
know what I
will be
mean?
on the right.
Because I was around these like people I was around a lot of older artists
Mhm.
at the time who were like at the time the most
Now your
talented people I've ever
destination
seen
is
in my
on the
life.
right.
And I'm like, yo, you didn't make it? Like, how good do I have to be? Like, and that's really that was a hurdle because I learned the difference between like making beats and being a musician. But like I also saw there were people who could do both things and they still didn't make it. So I was like, I gotta be excellent. I can't be okay. Like that shit don't cut it, man. So it was a battle within myself. That was the hardest. That was the hardest thing to like really wake up every day and work and understand what real work meant, you know? And
With
that changed
seeing
for me.
with seeing all the talented people out there in the industry, what do you think it is that played in the factor that they didn't make it? Do you think the game is just so oversaturated that it's difficult for everyone to make it nowadays, especially with social media because everyone wants to be a star in the industry?
It's funny. I think it's very different for different people have their own different stories, their own different journeys. So I don't think it would be fair to say one reason or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's like it's really singular, man, and everybody goes through their own shit. So like I can tell you for me, what like I'm 35 now. You know what I mean? And I'm still going at it. And it's like for me, I've always been good at adjusting. I've always been good at like staying actually ahead of the curve because I embrace everything. Like I got homies my age that's from Brooklyn and hate Brooklyn drill, and I'm like, how? like, like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never been one of those dudes at all. But like, yeah, for me, it's just been like understanding that it takes time and it takes patience. Because like Nicki Minaj had a quote mad years ago where she was like, it took her 20 years to become an overnight success. And I think that would be, I think that's I could say that's a lot of people's hurdle is the lack of patience. So a lot of people quit too early. Like I got a lot of homies, especially dudes I went to college with, that like we graduated. You got to go get a job, you got to do that, and they quit. And I'm like, you were great. Why'd you stop? Because it didn't happen in 4 years. Like that's crazy. Like it takes 12 years to become a doctor. Why do you think it takes 2 seconds to become a fucking world famous artist? Like, so
I
I don't
think
know, man.
I think what's discouraging sometimes is that you have cases where there's people that are kind of just handed the ropes out of nowhere, where there's
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
like you who are 35 still putting in the work, but then there's someone
Hmm.
that really just gets on in no time and it's like lightning in a bottle. How come you think that there's situations like that where there's people that don't have to put in enough work, and is you think it's just luck and lightning in a bottle?
I think it's life. Like I tell people all the time, like I I grew up in Crown Heights.
Mhm.
I'm one of maybe two friends, three friends that grew up with both their parents. I'm lucky. That's luck. So everybody has their own luck distributed differently. So some people, their luck is that they put out one song and they blow up. That's not my luck. My luck is I've been doing this for 10 years. and and I'm cool with that because guess what? I understood that very early because I started late anyway. Like I tell you, I didn't put out a real album until 2016. I was 29 when I put out a real album. I was active and producing for people and stuff like that, but like I I just understand that like it's different for everybody, man. Like, and I think a lot of people get dismayed by that because they get jealous of people that get on fast. And I'm like, that's their journey. You don't know what they've been through, and you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. Like that's their blessing. Like be happy. I'm just happy for that. Like I have friends that make music and stuff, and I'm just happy for them. Because I'm good in life. I'm cool. like, so I don't know, man. Like it's like I said, I don't even get into that. All I can speak for myself is that a hurdle for me is patience. It's an everyday battle with that, and I'm cool, man. I love it. So it's nothing to me.
In retrospect, in this full 360 right now, and you
Hmm.
continue to grind, it's kind of like when Kanye was early on in his career because you were making beats.
Hmm. Hmm.
When did the decision come that you wanted to fully translate and transition into becoming an artist? And are you facing some of the hurdles that he faced early on in his career?
Um, the transition actually happened when that 50 Cent song never came out. Like
Wow.
I was like, wait, I gotta do this shit myself. I gotta do this myself, man, because artists have different levels of endurance, different levels of dedication. You know what I mean? So here I am thinking that the artist I was working with, Amber, and I don't know her situation behind the scenes, so I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I was like, oh, I thought that was the golden ticket, and then it wasn't. So I was like, okay, I can't depend on her because she might have factors going on in her own life that
Yeah.
are derailing things. So I was like, number one, it's actually not fair on me to rely on her. As much as love that she showed me, buying me groceries and shit, I was like, that was over, that was an abundance of love she showed me. So I was just like, it's not fair for me to put all this dependence on her. I got to do some shit on my own. And if I embarked on a artist career, I could still do production stuff too. So it was kind of like a no brainer for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see you doing so much production work for different types of fields of genre in the industry,
Yeah.
like kind of like what Jay Z did with Linkin Park.
Yeah, 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 man. And that's actually why I came out to LA, because I'm getting into scoring for TV and movies and stuff like that. So my buddies who I'm with right now, I'll show you, waiting for me in the car. They're both, one of my homies. They both work in film. One of my buddies, actor, director. My other buddy, he works on the production side. So they got some friends out here they wanted to introduce me to help me get into that world. So like, yeah, man, it's that's the one good thing that's uh better about this era than when I first started, is that people are more accepting of you being multifaceted. You know, they're not so quick to put you in a box like, oh, you're an artist, you're a producer, so like when you bring up Kanye, I haven't really like gone through those type of struggles, especially except for in the beginning when I was trying to make rock music, and people were like, nah, like, and it was good. But people, and because no one was like, nah, it's trash. They were like, nah, I don't get it. So yeah.
Living Color though, they had success.
You said who?
Living Color.
I don't know. Is that a band?
Yeah, it's like a band from back in the day.
Oh yeah, I don't know that band. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know them. But no, artists have, like, black rock artists have had success. It just that wasn't in the cards for me. So
Took the R&B route.
I had to develop. I had to evolve. I had to put my pride to the side and be like, if I really care about this music shit, I gotta try something else. Just that
And you're
simple.
doing it, and it's good to see that you're experimenting into the acting world, because that's something I'm doing for myself as well, because you got to be able to just adapt to any lane, and you never know, that acting path could take off quicker than the music path, and vice
Exactly,
versa.
man.
You never know.
And
You got
that's
to
why
be open-minded.
for real. And it's about being humble about it, man. Because like I tell my friends all the time, I know I'm good, but no one, it's not promised that I make it in as the front facing thing. I might make it as a composer. I might make it as an engineer. And I'm cool with that, because the point of all this is that I love music. It's not that I love being famous or that stuff like that. It's like, if I love money, I wouldn't be doing this, because you can make way more money way easier doing some other shit. You know what I mean? So yeah,
You're
man.
following your passion and your calling.
Yeah, man, and it's fun. It's fun, man. And like, I wake up every day. I wake up every day and can create. I can create some stuff that didn't exist the day before, and that's really fulfilling.
That's what you do it for. It's for the love and the passion. Alex
Yeah,
Tumay, you
man.
met him through social media and became close friends with him, and he's just been someone that's been willing to engineer and work with you
Yep.
since day one.
He is one of those resources. He's like, I was talking about Luck before. That's a dude that I'm lucky to have as a friend, because he's taught me so much. He's always there to be like critical when necessary, because he's a very honest dude. And it's like, yeah, man, that's my luck right there, to have a friend like that. So like, he's been instrumental. I honestly, like, in my development. I don't think I would be this good if I never met Alex. I could say that very confidently.
What would you say is the most important thing that you learned from him on the engineer side of music that you were able to incorporate? And that's the reason why you say that you're having this success that you are with the music now.
The most important thing I learned from him is how to make my music not sound shitty. Because as an artist, you're in your own little bubble. All artists think everything they do is great. So to have someone at that level be able to, like, if I send him a song and he's like, and the reason we get along well, because he never judges the creative, like the actual music. It's the technical stuff.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like the technical, he'll be like, yo, your vocals sound like shit. Do this. Obviously, if he doesn't like the song, he'll be like, oh, I don't really like that song, which is fair. But most of his critique comes on the technical side, which is very important, because when you're like, for me, I'm producing the song, I'm writing the song, I'm in the bubble. So to have somebody burst that bubble and be like, hey, actually, this shit could be better. You should try a different snare. You know what I mean? Like, that's invaluable. And I was never too arrogant to dismiss that critique. And I always made sure to do that, because it's like, he don't have to do anything. He doesn't need me at all.
You
So
definitely
it's like,
applied that to your career and just kept on rolling from there. And
yeah,
he's worked with he's close with Young Thug, free Young Thug,
yeah,
but that's
man.
someone that you would love to
Facts.
work with, as well as like Drake and Future
Uh,
and Ariana Grande.
come on, man. Like, if I ever got a chance to work with that list you just those little people you just listed, that would be incredible, man. That would be incredible.
500
But you know,
feet,
that's why
your
I'm
destination
that's why
will
I'm
be
still
on the
working,
right.
because I believe I could get to that level one day. You know, yeah.
You can, and even you could even just go into like
Now
the
your
tip of the
destination
surface
is
by
on the
saying
right.
that, hey, maybe I don't have to make a song with them, but I can help them out production wise or do some writing or
Exactly that. Like I was just telling my buddy we were listening to Vince Staples' album because I hadn't listened to the new one. I hadn't listened to it yet, so he's playing this shit, and I'm like, yo, this is actually really, really good. And I was telling him, I was like, he's an artist I would like to work with because I hear his stuff and I'm like, yo, the ceiling is like the potential for him as an artist, like that's just exciting to me because his stuff is great right now. And those are the type of artists where it's like he's willing to try things, he's willing to experiment. And those people you listed, the Futures, Thugs, Drake, that's why they're them. They're willing to take risks. And those are the type of artists I would love to work with, man. On any facet. Feature, production, anything. So yeah, man.
it'll be coming soon.
I think so. I think so, man. I think so, man. So like, fingers crossed, dog.
Hard work's got to pay off eventually. I always say that because some people say, "Oh, well, sometimes hard work doesn't pay off," but it's got to because it's like, why did I do all this for nothing? It just doesn't
It,
equate.
I think it pays off. It just doesn't always pay off the way people want it to, and
Mm.
people aren't willing to accept that. And that's one thing I've been very willing to accept. Like the shit. First of all, like I was telling my buddies in the car yesterday, like I've fully come to like accept the fact that nothing will happen when I want it to happen. Like I don't get to control the timing or none of this stuff. But yeah, man, like I agree with you. The hard work does pay off. It just may not pay off how you think you thought it would, or exactly how you wanted it to. So yeah.
I agree, man. And it's important that you embrace that and you continue to go because you're an inspiration to tons of people out there, and just looking at it, it doesn't matter how
Thank you.
old you are in the
Yeah.
industry now, and you can make it
Yeah.
at any age. In my opinion, it all depends on just
Just
your
funny.
talent level.
I agree with you, and I think it should never matter how old you were. It depends on what you're trying to do though. Like if you're 45, trying to relate to 18-year-olds, that's you might not work. That might not work depending on how you're trying to relate to them. Because you ever I like in the alternative pop world, like the David Bowies and that type of, you know what I mean? Like David Bowie before he passed away, and like, he would go on tour, and it's all age ranges at the shows. No one cares how old he is because he's just wavy. Like, but if you're trying to do like, if you're trying to, I don't know, if you're trying to mimic that particular young people's type shit, like, you know what I mean? If you're trying to do it and be corny with it, like, you're gonna be corny. That's it. But if you wavy, you're gonna be wavy, and nobody cares.
Prince, I heard, is a huge influence to you, and just learning about his
Number two,
discography early on as
yeah.
well, and just how he was putting out albums that
Hmm.
weren't engineered to up to the level of
Hmm.
expertise, and he dropped it. That was the way he wanted it to be.
Listen, man, he's the second inspiration for me, man, because like that's like that. I mean, that's Prince, dog. Like, he's the king of the I'll do it all myself. Don't worry. Like sometimes to a detriment, you know what I mean? But I just respect people that like say, fuck it, I'll just do it myself.
Exactly. He hustled and he grinded, and he's got
Big
tons of
time.
albums. And even if you look at like the vault, when people said that after he died, what they found in the vault, they said he's
Mhm.
got thousands of records.
I actually went to Paisley Park and saw all that shit, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's thousands. It's thousands. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Prince
lot.
is
It's crazy.
definitely one of the best to do it. And I feel as
Facts.
though like he's always gotten credit, but I feel as though
Hmm.
after he passed away is when he really got his credit because I've heard a lot of people say, unfortunately, that, oh, to me, Prince was just a second tier Michael Jackson. Have you heard people say that before?
Yeah, idiots. Yeah. Very foolish people have said that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't
But
agree with
that's
that.
at all. But that's the beauty of art in general. It's all subjective. There's no objectivity.
Michael
But
Jackson
people
as a
could.
vocalist, untouchable. But if you look at Prince, Prince is an actual artist and musician because he experimented with everything.
And that's why he's one of my inspirations. Because look, the truth of the matter is this: when you take those risks and experiment, everything's not 10. But that's the beauty of the whole journey. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do something. You're gonna try some shit, and it may not be fire. And you're gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna do that again. It's just that simple. So yeah, man, that's why Prince is my guy. Same with Pharrell. Like there are tons of Pharrell songs, tons of Pharrell beats, Neptune's beats where it's like, maybe that's not the best one, but 99% of them are great. That's why he's who he is, you know?
Exactly. What do you think that makes you unique in this industry that no artist has brought to the table before besides, the rock influences? What do you think is this something that when people look at Tony Thames that just stands out completely from everyone else in the industry right now?
Um, I would like people to take from me like the power of just confidence and believing in yourself. Like for instance, like I I had like a crossroads at like age 24 because like it's genetically like I had gray hairs in my hair, like in my
Mhm.
head, since I was like 15.
Wow.
But at like 24, it started showing up here. And it was an interesting crossroads to me because it was like, okay, am I gonna be the guy that put the just for men in my beard every morning? Like, and I was like, fuck no. I was like, this is me. So I'm gonna rock this shit. I'm gonna be the guy that when I have a beard, some people might think I'm 45. When I don't have the beard, they'll think I'm 25. When I got the clean shaven, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm cool with that. And I want people to take that from me. I want people to like understand the value of being yourself 1,000% of the times and how powerful that is. Because like when I'm out, especially back in New York, when I'm out and about, New York is an interesting city. Like you obviously hung out in New York
Yeah.
before. So like, like you could be at a spot and it's every age range in there. It's 21-year-old motherfuckers in there. It's might be some 50-year-old people in the corner. You know what I mean? And what's always been fascinating to me is that no one cares. I could be, my beard could be out to here, and no one gives a fuck. Because
No,
again, if you're cool, you're cool. If you wavy, you wavy, and that's it. That's all that fucking matters. So like,
exactly.
I want
Embracing
that.
yourself.
Yeah, and I want that to be the takeaway from what I do because your research is impeccable. So thank you for that, man. So
I
like,
appreciate that.
yeah, dude, I hope it comes across in the music. That's what I say. Like that, I want like nowadays I think it's foolish for artists to want to stand out just based on their like the sonics of their music because there's so much shit. There's so many like there are no more real genres.
It's all
So
one
like
genre now. They're even calling hip hop pop.
yeah, exactly. So like I want people to connect with me past that. I want if I could pick my legacy, I would want it to be that. I would be like this mother. I fuck with Tony Thames because he exuded this confidence and this optimism about himself and his pursuits in art.
If you could think of one artist, who do you think blended all the genres together into pop? Because I have a theory. I feel like it's Drake at times because he can just do anything. Hop on a
Mhm.
now he could do 90s house music. He's done
Dog,
everything. R&B, hip hop.
Drake is one of the greatest artists of all time. Anybody that hates on Drake is just a pure hater.
Yeah.
It's just that simple, dog. He's one of the greatest artists of all time, dog. Like that's the only thing that should be ever said about him. Any critique, any no, just keep it to yourself. It's you just a hater. That's it, dog.
I agree. I was listening to his first mixtape earlier today, Room for
Um,
Improvement, and he can prove
yeah,
that he can rap like a New York hip hop artist. He had bars.
dog. He's one of the greatest rappers of all
Yeah,
time as well.
I
Like
agree with that.
it's
Despite the ghostwriting rumors, I do agree with it though.
but those that was fake
Yeah.
because you know what a ghostwriter doesn't get their name in the credits. That shit was always funny to me with the whole Quentin Miller thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like
With the
bro, his
Meek Mill
name.
beef and everything.
Yeah, bro, his name is in the credits. How is that a ghostwriter? Like he helped write the song. He could have wrote the whole song. So what? Drake wasn't hiding that from us. You just didn't read the credits.
Well, you know what makes it easier to hide it now is the fact because we don't have CDs anymore, so you can't see that. When you used to have the booklets, they would always expose everything, producers, the
Yeah,
writers.
but bro, we have Wikipedia. It's
Yeah,
there.
that's true. So people are always on their detective work. The
Yeah,
haters are
it's there.
definitely on their detective work.
No, but they weren't because the haters just wanted to hate. They didn't do any research at all. Hold on one second. I'm gonna take these things. My headphones are dying. I'm gonna
Of
switch
course.
over to speakerphone. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, fine. But yeah, man, the haters did no research at all. And I found that whole thing hilarious. And I love that Drake just vibed through it and kept making better. He was like, oh yeah, I want to be, all right, I'm gonna just get better. And I was like, that's the vibe. That's the energy right there. That's what people should support and endorse. That's why I love Rick Ross to this day. Rick Ross was like, oh, I'm a CEO. Anyway, here's 5 classic albums. Whatever.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
he
like,
definitely
I'm a
is
CEO.
blocking out
All
the
right,
noise.
You say what?
He's definitely blocking out the noise because I
Yeah,
saw
dog.
Gilly was going at him on Twitter and on his show.
Listen, man, who cares, dog? Who cares? First of all, that little situation is hilarious because Rick Ross is right. NFTs are stupid. Crypto is dumb. Rick Ross is right. Go buy cattle. That's real right there.
Yeah.
And also, it's his opinion. If he feels that way, why you mad? Like,
Exactly.
you know what
Everyone's
I mean?
entitled to their own opinion.
Especially when it's something like that. Because guess what? What I said just now, NFTs are dumb, blah blah. That's how I feel. But guess what? There are some people that made money off that shit. A lot of money, and good for them. I think people get mad because that market's way, 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 way down right now. And it's cool, but like I said, man, that's just really funny to me, all that stuff. But I love Rick Ross. I love Drake. Like, I really respect people that like are truly themselves, whether you think it's corny, whether you think it's whatever. And that's my number one. The coolest thing you can be is yourself. Everybody ain't gonna like you. It's cool.
Like Max B said, stay away from anyone unwavy.
Yeah, bro. Max B, that's one of the goats right there, bro. He's one of the motherfuckers that changed music on the LO. On the low, like, motherfuckers been jacking his shit for the past decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Thames, I want to get into this next segment here because you spoke about wanting to make fun projects again, going back to making something fun. What can we expect from you next, in which you are fully dived into this? You know, you have passion projects.
This next album I'm working on is insane. It's very. I want to make an album that's fun to perform. That's my biggest thing. Like, so I already know, man. Like, I already know a couple, like a song I put out a couple months ago called "Pretty Girl Anthem." Like, I already knew that it would take months for people to tap in properly because it's very, very weird and different. You know, even the delivery and like the vocal delivery, it's very different. And I'm like I said, I'm willing to roll the dice on stuff like that because I know it's good. I just know that it's not it doesn't sound like anything happening right now. So that automatically is going to add a learning curve or listening curve, whatever you want to call it, for people to tap in. So like my album is full of that really high energy, really like not dance like in the club type dancing, but like at a show, like going crazy at a show. Like that's the type of album I'm working on right now. So look out for 11 to 12 tracks of just energy.
Do you have a title in mind and a time expectancy on it?
I do have a title. The time keeps changing because I keep getting, like, at first I was going to mix it myself, but my Alex Tumay is going to mix the album for me. And so, you know, that I'm gonna have to be patient with that because he's a very busy guy. So, you know, if he's offered to mix it for me, so I was like, I gotta, again, keyword patience. Gotta be patient with it. But the title is it's a play on Kendrick's album, Good Kid, Mad City.
That's tough.
My album is gonna be Good Fit, Sad City. So yeah, it's like, again, even the title, I'm just having fun, man. Like, what do I like? Dressing nice. What is New York? A sad ass city. Wow, there we go. There we go.
Oh man, acting work. Is there anything that you're currently working on, or is this just you're just getting your feet wet? These are the beginning stages.
And it's not. I'm not acting. I'm just doing like music for like music. I mean, for movies and TV. Right now, I'm doing the scoring for this documentary that it's probably going to come out late this year, like December. But it's Patagonia is doing this really cool series on hemp farmers. You know the brand Patagonia, the outdoor brand. So like I'm doing the
music for that, so that'll come out later this year.
Congrats on
But
that.
yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, man. So like that's like my first dipping my toes in that water. So my same buddy who hooked me up with that, he's out here in LA with me too. So he's, out here gonna try to introduce me to, schedules depending, try to introduce me to some people that are actively working in that world, because that's a network that I don't really have. But I want to get into it. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But yeah, man, that's the only thing on that front that I have in progress right now.
Mm-hmm. Tony Thames, is there anything else you want to let the audience know and the listeners tuned in know, especially later on when they tune into the interview as well?
Yeah, man. Listen, I have a very interesting and lengthy existing discography right now, and I would love people to
go
take
revisit
time.
it.
Yeah, tap in, man, because it's a lot of different vibes, a lot of different energy. And like when you asked about going back to the fun stuff, it's because I got into this zone where I was really enjoying like making more introspective, like acoustic guitar type songs, and I was having a lot of fun doing it until one of my homies, actually my girl, she was like, hey, like your songs have been kind of sad recently, you good? And I was like, I'm fine. But I didn't think about it, like, because I forget that, like, when I write songs, like, they're rarely ever about what I'm going through in the moment. I just tap back into memories, tap back into situations, and find creative ways to tell those old stories. So when she asked me that, I was like, wait, I hope people don't think I'm like down bad right now, some shit like that. You know what I mean? I was like, I feel great. I'm doing great in life. So I was like, let me make an album that reflects that in the moment. But like, yeah, man, that would be my number one thing to ask people, is just go on Spotify, go on Apple, and just tap it, man. It's I make a lot of cool songs, a lot of interesting songs, very all over the map. And that's, what, to answer your question from earlier, that would be the interesting thing about me on the music side as an artist, that I want people to like. I got songs on full-blown rap, and I got songs where you can hear me be sad and play acoustic guitar. So the diversity. The diversity is that broad. So yeah, man, that's what I would want people to do. Just go tap in, man. It's an interesting discography. It's a lot of different emotions, a lot of different vibes. So go check it out.
Go check that out. Tony Thames, I want to thank you for coming on the show here today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate your time.
Of course, man. Keep grinding, keep going. Your time is near. You're already working. You're already making connections. You're already in this thing. Just keep going, keep working. I'm looking forward to the upcoming music that you have coming out soon. Shout out to Richard Dean and Grunge Cake for helping coordinate this as well.
Correct. The homies, man. They've been showing love for many, many years. I really appreciate all of them, man. Really appreciate it.
Shout out to them. And let the audience know where they can follow you on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that.
All three are Tony Thames _.
Tony Thames _.
Because there's literally on each platform there's already one Tony Thames. And so I was like, fuck it, I gotta put
differentiate yourself somehow. Differentiate.
Yeah, Tony Thames _ everywhere.
Make sure you give him a follow. Tony Thames, thank you again for coming on the show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy LA, and especially, cracking.
Man, I'm about to.
It looks nice out there.
It's beautiful today. Beautiful day today. Beautiful day.
Go enjoy it, man.
Thank you for your time, man. Have a good evening too, bro.
You too, man. I appreciate it.
Later.
Later, man.